For all the details on what happened to me regarding my injury, we're pushing 100 hours plus video now. YouTube channel, My Medical Nightmare. Alright, got some updates on Negligent Doctors, Birmingham Radiological Group. I unfortunately was a patient and customer, not by my choosing, 3 member doctors of this group. I'll go into my own issues a little bit later. I went into the emergency department believing that I had broken my neck or skull. These doctors looked at my scans and gave pronouncements. I had no injury present. I knew otherwise. I obtained the images and written records and found I had broken bone in the basilar area of my skull, improperly diagnosed, and I almost died from this injury that I was told I did not have. Many patients, customers, and business partners have had problems with Birmingham Radiological Group. I'll mention this latest review posted to the Better Business Bureau website, dated January 18, 2026. This former patient and customer writes, sends threats via mail to turn over to collection for bills that have been paid. Get a better company to handle your billing. You just lost a customer. I will not use a medical facility that cannot even keep up with their own billing. Makes you question the ability of those reading the X-ray, MRI, and CT scans. These doctors have been implicated in other medical negligent civil court proceedings. This was written up in June 2023. You can find it in the Alabama Jury Verdict Reporter. They summarized the case. Medical negligence. A woman was referred to a radiologist for an ultrasound of her leg to rule out deep vein thrombosis. The radiologist read the ultrasound as showing no evidence of DVT. After the woman died a few days later of pulmonary embolism, her estate blamed her death on the radiologist for failing to identify DVT on the ultrasound. The state of Jessica Fisher versus Birmingham Radiological Group, PC. Plaintiff Jeffrey P. Leonard, Henninger, Garrison Davis, LLC, Birmingham. Defense Walter W. Bates, J. Bennett, White, and Mary Pat Grizzle. Starnes Davis, Flory, LLP, Birmingham. Verdict for the defense. Circuit Jefferson, 524-23, Judge Jim Huey III. In December of 2015, Jessica Fisher was suffering from lumbar pain. On 12/28/15, she consulted on the matter with her pain management physician, Dr. Srinivas Mallempati, an employee of Alabama Ortho Spine Sports, AOSS. And just to interject, you may see this and wonder, are they talking about OrthoAlabama Spine Sports located near Trussviille, Alabama? And the answer is yes, they are one and the same outfit. During Fisher's presentation, Dr. Mallempati noted signs and symptoms that could be suggestive of deep vein thrombosis. Specifically, her right leg was swollen and red. Dr. Mallempati wanted to rule out DVT, so he sent Fisher for an ultrasound, done the same day by a technician employed by Birmingham Radiological Group, interpreted by a diagnostic radiologist, Dr. Julian Druhan, an employee of the group. Dr. Druhan read the ultrasound as showing no evidence of DVT. That interpretation was then communicated to Dr. Mallempati. Based on that interpretation, Dr. Mallempati proceeded to treat Fisher's lumbar pain. He administered an epidural steroid injection on 12/30/15. The following morning on 12/31, Fisher died due to pulmonary embolism. It would later be alleged that the embolism was itself caused by undiagnosed deep vein thrombosis. Fisher's estate filed suit against Alabama Ortho Spine Sports, Birmingham Radiological Group, and the technician who had performed the ultrasound. However, the technician was later dismissed from the case by the court's grant of partial summary judgment. The estate voluntarily dismissed Alabama Ortho Spine Sports later. When the dust had settled, the only remaining defendant was BRG. The estate pursued that claim on a theory of vicarious liability. Specifically, Dr. Druhan had failed to notice the plain evidence on the ultrasound of DVT, both above and below Fisher's right knee. Additionally, Dr. Druhan had failed to note in his report that the ultrasound was limited due partly to Fisher's obesity and the inability to image parts of her leg. The estate further alleged that Dr. Druhan failed to communicate those limitations to Dr. Mallempati and instead gave a definitive pronouncement that there was no evidence of DVT. Both sides identified a number of experts in the case, including Dr. Bruce Disdale, Radiology, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Dr. Jeffrey Risley, Vascular Surgery, Crestwood, Florida, and Dr. Susan Smith, Internal Medicine, Pensacola, Florida. Birmingham Radiological Group defended the case and denied any breach of the standard of care on the part of Dr. Druhan. According to the defendant, Druhan's interpretation of the ultrasound was reasonable and it showed no evidence of DVT. The identified defense experts included Dr. Stan French, Diagnostic Radiology, Montgomery, Alabama, Dr. Timothy Uzzi, Diagnostic Radiology, Madison, Mississippi, and Dr. Ben Pierce, Vascular Surgery, Birmingham, Alabama. It was Dr. Pierce's opinion that the cause of Fisher's death was unknowable. Furthermore, if she had developed DVT, it did not originate in the area that was imaged in the ultrasound. The case was tried for 8 days in Birmingham. The jury returned a verdict for Birmingham Radiological Group, and the court entered a defense judgment. There's a lot I could say about this case. Very unfortunate that we have another instance of alleged medical mistreatment involving Birmingham Radiological Group and Dr. Julian Patrick Druhan, and even more so because this individual later died. I think the important thing here to recognize is juries and courts can return incorrect or seemingly unfair rulings and judgments. Each time patients of these bad doctors seek out remedies in the court system, for example, this goes onto a record and a pattern of alleged negligence is being established. In my case, I have 100% proof that both Dr. Julian Patrick Druhan and Birmingham Radiological Group are negligent medical practitioners. There's no disputing this fact. Any person who deals with the doctors of Birmingham Radiological Group, they need to know that this group is not trustworthy. They're not reputable. Please peruse the many hours of video documentation on my channel, the uploaded records, the recorded telephone calls with these people. You're a customer or patient of BRG. You need to look at cases like this and figure in these types of examples when assessing any work they may have done for you. Alabama-based Birmingham Radiological Group. They claim to have 45 radiologists on the payroll and are composed of doctors that examine MRI, X-rays, and CT imagery. Many doctors and medical practices in the Birmingham area rely on their services, and you may be surprised if you went to see a doctor and had an MRI, CT, or X-ray in the Birmingham area. A BRG, Birmingham Radiological Group doctor, may have examined your images, and you may not be aware of it until later. I was a customer and patient of Birmingham Radiological Group in 2018 and 2019. I had 3 of their doctors look at MRI, CT, and X-ray of a major injury that I had in my head. I almost died from this. These doctors wrote in their reports that I had no injury present. I knew otherwise. Went and got the pictures. I'll put the pictures up here yet again. And what's clearly visible at this time when I was being told these falsehoods was that around 6 inches in diameter of infection appears inside my head. I'd actually broken my skull in the basilar area in the region of the occipital condyle and condylar canal. My issues are unresolved outstanding as it relates to Birmingham Radiological Group doctors Angus Baird, MD, Julian Patrick Druhan, MD, and Donald Shane Kelly, MD. I called the CEO, Doyle Stewart, and he told me in a recorded phone call that he was not going to help me get my own images looked at again or to correct the errors of their doctors.